Good morning, everyone. I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and welcome to my studio. I'm excited to have you here for a card crafting event, which is going to be a really great card. I think that you will find this one super useful to use over and over again. I shared a 6x6 paper crafting hack the other day for a card, and somebody said that they just opened up their stash, pulled out some paper, and made 5 cards right like that. So I love hearing when people find videos useful like that. So leave me a comment if you're like, oh yeah, I make cards sometimes based on what I see. So today's gonna be one of those. So I'm gonna look for some comments on this afterwards because it's a really simple card, a really easy format. It goes together quickly. And in fact, I think for a challenge, we're gonna make 2 of them in the time that we usually make 1 card. So with no problem, it's gonna go really quickly. There is a really pretty new stamp set. It's called Citrus Blooms in the new book. And I love this one. And I'm actually going to use just the stamps today and not the die set, along with the designer series paper. So here is the set of designer series papers. This is a 12x12 paper, but I'm showing you 6x6. Here they are because I'm showing you them with the designer series or with the ready to stamp card bases. Here's the back sides of them, all pretty blues and Mediterranean tiles. And I'm showing you with the card bases because I'm gonna just make one last kind of little note. You only have a little bit of time left to sign up for the LovenStamps Paper Share. And every time I show a card that really features how to use these 6x6 pieces to make a card with the papers you've got, I have some more people who sign up. So I just figured I'd show you this one. And the link for that is in the video description if you need it. Hey, Tanya. Morning, everybody. Say hi to everybody. Okay, with that, I think I'm going to flip our camera down and show you these things so you can see them much better. All right, so for example, we have here the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing folder. So it actually comes with this die here. There's a die in here, as well as the folder, and they work together. So I'm going to remind you how to use that if you haven't used it already. And like I said, we're going to use our designer series papers here, and we're going to use a highlight here from the Everyday Moments dies, Everyday Details dies, sorry. Here's the stamp set, and then these are the dies with all of the dots. I really love these, and in fact, I always keep my stamps and my dies banded together and put them in my storage if you've ever seen my tour of my stamp storage. But I think for this one, I'm gonna separate them and keep this one. I actually have a drawer here to the side, it's right down there. And I keep the dies that I use all the time right there. And I think this is a beautiful stamp set. You can see I haven't used it yet. But the die set, oh my gosh, this is such a great die set. So, all right, so we're gonna put that one to work. And with that, I think we should get started. So like I said, it's 6x6 designer series papers. And this is from the sampler pack from the LovenStamps DSP Share. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull a 6x6 piece here. And I've taken a card base and cut it in half. So for our faux card today, our faux 6x6 card, we are going to go ahead and use just a half of this base. And then I think we'll do maybe one more here. This one with the pumpkin pie. So we're going to pair those together. Okay. So, all right. Oh, hey guys, Tanya. Hi, Inika. Hey, Sue. Good to see everybody. I love that we can stamp with friends from all over the world here on our videos. So we're going to go ahead and cut these down. Like I said, this is really simple. So I'm just going to cut this to 4 inches wide, and I'm going to have this piece left over, which I can use for whatever I want. And then I'm going to score at the top of this one because I want this to be 5 1/4 inches tall. So if you can't remember how much to score, just remember you want this to be 5 1/4 so that you have a regular card front size, okay? So this is a way to kind of, you guys know that I love DSP card bases and that it just really shows off a lot of the paper and makes that the focal point of the card. But sometimes you don't have a whole strip, like a whole 12x12. So this is a really paper saving way to make your DSP card base without actually having to use a whole piece of designer series paper, a whole strip. You can get away with using just a 6x6 piece. So, all right. So for the insides of our cards, we are going to stamp in Citrus Blooms, and I have my pumpkin pie ink pad for this. And yay! Oh, Tanya says thanks for the ideas. Oh, Inika, did I get it kind of right? Kind of right. I told Inika when I was in Mexico, I found some demonstrators from the Netherlands and asked them to help me pronounce her name so that I can say it kind of right, at least not totally butcher it when she says hi, because you guys know I like to say hi. Hey, Anne. Hey, Nikki. All right, and then I'm going to show you a trick for an envelope with this card too. So we'll just go ahead and stamp. I'm going to use the other orange for this. Now, the Citrus Blooms stamp set has some really, really pretty dies with it. So I will definitely be showing those off sometime in the future, just not happen to be today. So, all right, we'll come back to our envelopes. All right, and then I'm going to show you how to assemble these because they're so slick and so quick. Hey, Elaine. And the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and attach here. So inside the flap of our card, I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm going to have to get a pin out for that one. Okay, now I can't remember who said, but corsage pin would be a great thing to have handy for that. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and slide this all the way up in there and fold it down, and then make sure that everything aligns. Now, I'm not super worried about this at the bottom, but if you wanted to, well, here, I'll show you since you can go ahead and slice off just that little bit. So I'm going to open this up so I don't accidentally catch, and then I'm going to cut off just that little sliver. That's how awesome this paper trimmer is. I don't know if you've tried that before on other paper trimmers, but that is not a fabulous thing to be taken for granted. All right, and then for this one too, we'll go ahead and pop this in here. And we have some really, really gorgeous ways to decorate the front of this card. It's actually one of my favorite cards I've made for quite a while. I'm very excited about it. And then we're gonna take this whole bit here and pop this down. And like I said, the DSP Paper Share has openings for just a couple more days. So if you've been on the fence, now is the time to just go ahead and send in your request so that I can get your PayPal invoice out to you. But the nice thing about this card is that you can make this card, you have to provide your own white cardstock and embellishments and so forth, but the pieces that we're cutting can be cut just out of the paper share. So that having the cardstock card bases or the ready to stamp card bases means you'll use your paper rather than, I don't know, maybe keeping it for a long time. All right, so now for the front of our card, we're gonna use this fabulous ribbon. If you sometimes look at ribbon, you're like, I don't know, what if it doesn't match everything? I'm gonna put this iridescent ribbon in your list. It's in the supply list that's in the video description. But this one has so many colors. It's iridescent and it would be great with pinks, purples, yellows, oranges, greens. Probably you could get away with coral, or corals would be perfect for it. Lots and lots of different colors in this ribbon. So you don't have to worry so much about like having things match. This is a kind of a universal ribbon to have on hand. So, all right. And I don't really care which way our bow faces, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I gave you guys a lesson the other day on bows and how to get the bow ends to face the direction you wanted. But for this one, fortunately, we don't care. So, plus this ribbon is really soft and easy to tie, so that makes it nice for something like this where you wanna be able to kind of cinch it down pretty tight on your card. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim that end, and then we'll do this one here. The nice thing about this card is that if you are looking at this and going, my bows never get tight enough, there's always looseness in the ribbon, I can show you a trick in our attachment here where you'll see how to overcome that. It doesn't matter. If your bow's not tight, even though you've wrapped it around so you have the pretty ribbon showing up on the inside, you can cheat and make it tight on the front. So. All right, and then this bow is gonna face the other direction, which I'm perfectly happy with. Either one on this. All right, there we go. Tighten just a little bit, there we go. Okay, so now we have our fronts, And the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little here so you can see a little bit better. Well, I think, there we go. Okay, so now we have our fronts and we're going to make a focal point for this. So I'm going to pull out my Everyday Details die and die cut from opposite cards for these. So I'm gonna put the yellow one on here and I'm gonna put the orange one on here, okay? So I'm not gonna attach those yet because I wanna show you sort of the version with and without those. It really makes a difference in creating a focal point for our greeting here. So, oh, hey Leanne. Let's see, okay. Oops, I'm getting things in the background. Oh yeah, oh you guys really like the ribbons, that's good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is bring in our greetings here, and the greetings are gonna come from this Thoughtful Moments die. And there are some great greetings in Citrus Blooms, but I really liked the idea of having the contrast and this really big focal point greeting using our folder. And so I'm going to pull in the brayer here, and I'm going to oops, sorry about that. You can cut these without using the brayer also, but we need to use the brayer to add some color to the dies if you want to have the die cuts with color. So remember with the brayer, you're going to always push, pick up, and roll like this. You don't want to go back and forth like this because if you see, you're only inking about 1 centimeter of your brayer and you want it to be inked all the way around. So you don't have to hold it sideways like this. You can do it on the table, but I just wanted to show you guys how that works. And then same thing, you want to move this around a little bit, turn it sideways. You want to catch all of the top part here. Now, if you forget which side of the folder you're supposed to ink, you could just ink both sides. It's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. But you also don't have to ink both sides. We just want this side to show up. There are some folders, the Valentine's one that came out last year, it's still in the catalog because it got carried over. It is super fabulous. And you can ink both sides of that one because the pieces are interchangeable front and back. But this one, of course, you would want to just use the, preferably just use the one side because the back side is hard to, unless you're sending mirror cards or something like that, I guess. All right, so you want to cut a piece of cardstock 6x6. You can probably get away with 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And you're gonna pop this in here. That die does sit down into the tray. It kind of latches itself in there. And then after that, I like to just keep my hand nice and tight on this so that I don't drop it or like have it pop out of its little track. And so now we're going to jump over here to our die cut machine. I'm gonna take away the plate number 2 and plate number 3 because all I need for this sandwich is plate number 1, which is this thick one, and then our folder and our paper, and plate number 4, which is the gray one. And if you forget, you just look right here. It says use with 3D embossing folders, and there's a picture right there. I'm gonna drop this in. I like to go hinge first on this so that I don't have anything shifting. And I'm gonna crank this through. Now, it's a little bit tighter than a regular folder, but it should not be very tight. So if you are starting to crank and you're like, I can't get it through, stop. Make sure you've taken away plate number 2 and then carry on. So it's a little bit different sandwich, but it's not hard, and the directions are attached. Like, you can't use the machine without the directions being there. So, oh, thanks. Tanya says cute top. Yes, I did dress the part today. I wore my orange bird just so we could make our orange card today. So, all right. So let's go ahead and switch our camera back. Here we go. So here we have our folder. I'm gonna open it up and we have our die cut pieces. And you can just use a smaller piece of paper if you want to and cut just the greeting you want. But I tend to cut these and then I just put them in a little packet inside the case so that I can pull them out, and maybe next time I won't actually have to do the cutting or anything. I'll just grab a greeting that's here. Or if you're using, you know, like your set of papers and dies, or papers and ready stamp card bases, then it would be really quick to just cut a bunch of greetings in a color that matches with these and then make 6 cards ready to go right there. So you get all 91 papers with the new catalog paper share from me. So that would be a lot of fabulous cards. So now you can decide which greetings you want to pop on here. So we could do celebrate, we could do hello, we could do thank you, thinking of you, I feel like fits nicely there. Get well, you make me so happy. Actually, that one kind of has to go on this card with these bright, shiny colors, I think. All right, so let's talk about the trick. And then, oh, I forgot, I do have a use for these. So we're gonna put those to use here in a second. And let's go ahead and pull out some dimensional edging. And I like to keep this handy because it has some terrific uses, like this trick that I'm gonna show you now. I'm going to go ahead and pull this ribbon here. So actually, I think this one's a little looser. Yeah, we'll do this one. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put down one strip of dimensional right here. And you can tell it's gonna get covered up by our circle, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I'm gonna kind of slide any slack out. So you see how there's like extra play in the ribbon here? I'm gonna pinch that between these two strips of the dimensional. Okay, so here's the slack, which no one's gonna know. And then it just makes it look like our ribbon is just really nice and tight across here. So let's pull this backing off and pop our circle on. And it's gonna cover those up. We're gonna have this ribbon come across. And then I'm gonna pop a Stampin' Dimensional here on the back of our thank you greeting. And then on our other card here, we are, let's see, do you guys like turn? I think I kind of like straight actually. Thank you, there we go. For this one, I'm not gonna worry too much. I don't think there's a lot of slack to take out of the ribbon. So I'm just gonna run this across. I do like to make sure that the dimensional touches both the ribbon and the paper. So then it's just holding everything in place and I don't have to worry about stuff shifting on me. And then we need another dimensional on here. I'll just use another little edge piece. You guys do save your dimensional edges, right? You don't throw those away. They're like valuable real estate. So, okay, we need some, we're gonna set those aside for more cards. We're gonna bring some bling in. This is the Opal Rounds assortment, and they are in the suite with the Mediterranean Blooms. So if you hadn't seen this suite yet, here are the very, very pretty. I love the dies with this too. We just didn't use them today. And the dies do cut out the big orange sprays in the paper. So here's the dies and the stamps and the pretty, pretty papers. So we're gonna pull these gems here. And I really like to use my take your pick tool and do the slide and stick. And the yellows I feel like are perfect with this. So I'm gonna pop a couple of these on here and maybe one big one. I like to do things in threes. So there's You Make Me Happy, and maybe I'm gonna put a white one on this one and you have some variety to see here. So these are the sort of the clear-ish opal rounds. So lots of choices with these, and slide and stick to get those to stick down. So there are the pretty gems on these. But then we're gonna come back here with our Designer Series paper strips. So we wanna use the paper we've got, right? So I'm gonna bring these in with our envelopes. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead and glue this right here. Now, it's a little short right here, but that's okay. I'll show you what we're gonna do. So this is just my 2-inch, where'd my other glue go? Do you guys lose stuff on your stamping table? Jeez, I lose stuff all the time. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put glue on here. I'm gonna go pretty close up to the edge, closer than I usually do, because I don't want this to flap open as it is going through the postal service. Goodness. Oh yeah, Joan says happy little cards. Oh, and Leanne says he looks like the Florida orange bird. He is, actually. He is inspired based on the Disney orange bird. So, all right, so that is lined up right to the top there, okay? And now what I'm gonna do is take my scissors and run these across. And I have a couple of mail bag cards to share. And so this was, card envelope was inspired by my friend Pat, who always sends, she's a wonderful stamper and she always decorates her envelopes. And I love the DSP on the back, and I always think to myself, why do I forget to do that? So I remembered for today. So thanks, Pat. And I'm going to bring this in here now. And with my super paper trimmer, I'm going to line up the edge of that designer series paper. And I'm just going to trim off that bottom of that envelope. And so now it just looks neat. And actually, I really don't think you'd even notice that there was intended to be another little bit on there. So I could make the second envelope there to match this card, or I could mix and match them. Actually, I might do that and send them like this with the opposites. So, all right, I have one more of this card to share with you. I made this one ahead of time, but this is the one with the hello greeting. So there's a third possibility. So really great cards and a really fun way to use the new Citrus Blooms stamp set, the Thoughtful Moments embossing folder, and to make the most of 6x6 DSP pieces with the ready to stamp card bases. So I think you guys will agree that this is a card layout that you could see yourself making over and over again. It's a great way certainly to use paper that you got that you want to make the most of and get some cards out, because really this is such a simple layout and a great way to use all the pieces of that paper, especially if you're making up the envelopes to go with them. So a really fun opportunity. All right. So if you haven't signed up yet, jump on to the link that's in the video description for the paper share, and I'll try and jump on and put it in a comment too. Thanks, Inika. And the paper share is only open for a couple more days, so don't miss that. The new book is out and available. This is actually the very first suite of the suite pages. So you haven't seen my catalog walkthrough, you can check that on the LovenStamps Facebook or YouTube page. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, all those things to not miss out on future videos. But I did a whole walkthrough where I kind of went through page by page and talked about different things in the catalog just to kind of help everybody get oriented. With that, I think on Thursday, I will be back with another Maker Mornings with Meg at 9:30 a.m. Central Time, which is our normal time. And sorry, you'll have to adapt for your own time zones. Time zones are like kryptonite to me, so not my best thing. And I will be back with another Take to the Sky project, because that's a feature for the LovenStamps monthly tutorials for the month of May that we're in. Oh, and mailbag. Let's see. Okay, I have a couple of mailbag cards. This one is, here, I'm going to switch our camera back. This one is from my friend Lindsay, featuring, this is the lavender paper that is carried over from the other, the last mini catalog. So really pretty card and the gorgeous crumb cake card bases. This one is a great card. This is from Pat, like I said, and she did this flap right here on the envelope, and she went ahead and did that to match the designer series paper card. And actually, this is not super dissimilar. Her card opens instruction to use the extra flap on the side there to decorate the inside of her card. So you can use that too. But a really great idea for using your 6x6 paper. So thanks, Pat. Super timely. And then this card is from Evie, and she used that mountain set and the trees. So this is definitely a card that I will probably be using something similar to as my kiddo, one of my kiddos is headed to New Mexico to work in the mountains all summer. So, and her view will look just like this all summer long. So I'm really excited for her. All right. So I think that covers us for today. Thanks for watching and for mailbag. Hey, Mary Ellen. And I will see you. Wait, is today Thursday? Today's Thursday. Sorry about that. So today's Thursday, and I will be back on Tuesday with another episode of Maker Mornings with Meg. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't even know what day it is. So anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. You have a chance to stamp some cards. Pull out this fun card design for some quick ones. And I look forward to seeing what you guys make and hearing from you too. So happy stamping, everyone. Have a really great day.